Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, welcome back, all of you, for the Srimad Bhagavatam study. So, we have Dev and Bhavesh together, and we also have Lakshmi Mataji joining us. Thank you so much for joining. Very nice. And so, Dev, you are just outside the temple now, Chowpatty?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, great. Very nice. So, what is the upcoming festival there now?
I just saw that there's something for 60th anniversary of ISKCON that is
Okay.
going to be happening. Other than that, not aware, but at least every day there is Deepdan and Chaurashtakam.
Oh, Chaurashtakam is going on. Okay. That's interesting. Hare Krishna, Hina Mataji, how are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Fine, thank you.
Good. We also have Achyutanji joining us. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, great. So last week I was traveling, so couldn't take the Bhagavatam session, and it was really nice. I got a chance to attend ISKCON Rath Yatra in Baltimore. I shared just few of the images and pictures with some of you. It was a very beautiful experience because first time I saw Rath Yatra here and also the way they do it. So we are also going to have a Rath Yatra on July 19th in our temple here. So it is going to be exciting. And we have our annual third anniversary on July 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we have a 3 day long festival, of course, 4 days, but it will be very nice, a grand celebration like Brahmotsava. So something like that. Uh, we will be having Brahmotsava here. So very nice. So I know it's been quite some time, and you may have kind of forgotten what we discussed last time. But just to give you a little recap of what we had discussed in the previous sessions, we saw that how Vidura was traveling pilgrimages because he was insulted by Duryodhana in Hastinapur. And then he keeps going, traveling from place to place, and finally he comes and uh, reaches at Prabhasa Kshetra. At Prabhasa Kshetra, he gets to know that many of his family members, the Kurus and the Yadavas, they have all left. So later he moves towards Gujarat area, Surat. We understood that how even now and then Surat was quite opulent. Finally, he meets Uddhava. So today, what we are going to discuss is the discussion between Uddhava and Vidura, and this is very important for all of us because this is a very big event that has happened in the Bhagavatam, if we see, because now Krishna has left the planet. Okay, he has left the planet, and before leaving the planet, he has spoken something very important to Uddhava. And Vidura is inquiring about it now. Okay, so these are very beautiful things because Krishna is gone from this planet, and now Vidura comes and meets Uddhava, and this discussion is very important for us. But before we begin, let's chant the pranam mantras, and then we will continue discussing today's topic. Okay. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. So kindly join your palms and chant along with me the pranam mantras. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Okay, good. So once again, welcome all of you back to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's quickly see if there are any chats. Okay, Divik is also here, is it? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Divik. And we also have
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We also have Krishna joining us on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, so this is a very interesting conversation, like I mentioned earlier. Uddhava is explaining to Vidura about the fratricidal war that happened. The Yadavas, they fought amongst themselves. And the whole Yadava Kula, the Yadava dynasty, Krishna's dynasty, they fought among themselves and they were gone. So, in this whole process, Uddhava is also consoling Vidura because Vidura is very sorry to hear about the departure of Krishna. So, let's understand the context of this conversation between Vidura and Uddhava. But for understanding this conversation between Uddhava and Vidura, we should also know the background of what is the conversation between Krishna and Uddhava. Before Krishna left this planet, he spoke to Uddhava. And that is very important, and that's what Uddhava is also going to speak. But before that, let us understand the little background of how this is all coming into picture in the Bhagavatam, because this is all connected to the Mahabharata as well. Because Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, if you see, there is a lot of connection between Mahabharata and the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should know a little bit of background. That's very important. See, whenever there is any war, there is always good and bad. There is good, there is evil. This material world means there is good and evil. In life also, constantly we see that there is good, there is evil. There are good forces, there are negative forces, evil forces which are acting. Uh, Constantly we hear some evil forces are so dangerous. I mean, the kind of things that came out because of the Epstein files recently, we can see the gory picture of the evil that can come out. A lot of negative things. And interestingly, see, we have so many incarnations of the Lord, from Matsya to Kurma to Narsimha to Varaha. Different incarnations, they come and they actually destroy the evil, but they do not eliminate the evil. Why? Narsimha came and destroyed the evil Hiranyakashipu. Krishna came, he finished Kamsa, right? But then the evil was not completely eliminated. There's always this balance. The evil remains, it's not eliminated. This is how the world is designed. Only when the evil is beyond a certain point, tolerance level, that is when Krishna comes, it destroys that evil, maintains the balance again. Good and evil should be there in this material world. Why? Because if there is no evil sometime, then we will not be able to understand what is the spiritual world, why we should get rid of this material world and go to the spiritual world. We'll be in a very nice comfortable situation here, like heaven. Even of course in heaven also there is a lot of attacks that happen because of the asuras, right? Even people in the heavens are not really so peaceful because they also have the constant fear of asuras being coming and attacking them. So this world is like that because Krishna has designed it that way. Dukhalayama shashvatam. Because if there is no dukha, there is no ashashvatam here, then we'll think that okay, what's the need of going to the spiritual world? Let's enjoy here. Let's be happy and be, enjoying all life after life. No, Krishna has a purpose to keep evil here because we should know we are tortured and we should somehow get rid of this place and go to the world where there is no evil. That is the reason Krishna also keeps this evil here. And of course, there are people with evil tendencies and they need a platform to execute those evil tendencies. And this is the world where people with negative evil tendencies, they can explore their exploitative mentality, right? So this is the world for them. So Mahabharata, of course, when Krishna comes in different forms and incarnations, it is to inspire the good and destroy the evil. So even in Mahabharata also, he came. He wanted to inspire the Pandavas and destroy the Kauravas. That was the ultimate goal. Krishna always protects dharma and the good people. That is the purpose of every incarnation. And now, when the Mahabharata has happened, the final day of Mahabharata, Duryodhana fell down, and still he did not give up his desire that he should be victorious. And now he knows that he will not be able to be victorious, but then he somehow wanted to ensure that the Pandavas are also not victorious, and their lineage and the dynasty should be destroyed. So then he calls Ashwathama. This is the final day of Mahabharata. So when he calls Ashwathama, he says that Ashwathama, see, actually I made a mistake. Mistake what? You wanted to become the commander in chief. Right from the beginning you were telling, make me a commander, but I did not. Because there was Bhishma. And in the presence of a Bhishma, to make you commander was a little difficult task for me as well. I couldn't make, and many others were following you. Your own father, Drona, became a commander in chief, and this all went on. And I couldn't really make you commander in chief. But now, I'll make you the commander in chief. I mean, his final day is already about to die. And that's when he's telling, now I will make you commander in chief. And I want to see that you destroy the Pandavas and their lineage. And then he also says very interesting thing. He says that, oh Ashwathama, through the process of Niyoga Paddhati, which was allowed in the Dwapar Yuga, you bear a child in my wife and install him as the king of the Kauravas in the future. See, look at this. And Ashwathama, a brahmachari, he nodded his head and agreed to this proposal of Duryodhana. And moment he agreed to this proposal of Duryodhana, that okay, I'll marry your wife, or not marry, but I'll have a child in your wife, his brahmacharya was broken. He lost his brahmacharya. So now there are consequences. He went late night, the very same night after discussing, he was, raged now. Ashwathama, he took a vow that, okay, I'll kill the Pandavas, I'll finish them. And he was contemplating and trying to plan, how do I kill? Because Pandavas are not small, ordinary people. Their power is extremely, immeasurable. All the 5 Pandavas. Bhima himself is so powerful. He killed all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. Right? So, they're not ordinary people. So, he's contemplating Ashwathama, how do I kill these Pandavas? And with Ashwathama, there are 2 more people. Who are those 2 people? One is Kripacharya, another is Kritavarma. Kripacharya and Kritavarma. These two people, Kritavarma was the commander-in-chief of the Narayani Sena of Krishna. You remember that Duryodhana actually had taken the Narayani Sena of Krishna, and Krishna, on the other hand, became the Parthasarthi. He became the charioteer of Arjuna. So Narayani Sena was led by Kritavarma, fighting on the side of Kauravas. So Kritavarma and Kripacharya, they both were still there. They were not dead. And then Ashwatthama that night, they both slept, Kritavarma and Kripacharya, and Ashwatthama, he stayed back a little. He was awake for a little longer. And when he slept, he got a dream. In his dream, he saw that an owl in the night is going and pecking the chicks of a crow. It's destroying basically the crows in its nest while the crows are sleeping. Immediately, Ashwatthama woke up and he said, "Oh, this is a fantastic idea." He said he got inspired by this owl, which he saw in the dream. He said that this is the best way to kill them. Wow. While the Pandavas are sleeping, I will go and finish them. This is the easiest way. So he goes and proposes this idea to Kripacharya and Kritavarma. Now Kripacharya is not he is also Brahmana, a nice person. So he says, he condemns this straight away. He said, this is cowardly. Nobody, no warrior will do this. And this is inappropriate. He gives many philosophical things. He tells him that, okay, see, if a spoon is kept in a halwa, in a jar of halwa, later if you take that spoon and you lick it, the spoon will not become sweet just because it was kept and it was in the contact with halwa for so long, doesn't mean the spoon will become tasty. But moment you put that halwa on your tongue, you will be able to relish the taste. A lot of philosophy like this. Basically, Kripacharya is telling Ashwatthama, says, enough, see, today I don't have anything to listen about philosophy because my father has told me enough philosophy. But now I have given a word to Duryodhana and I have to finish. And I have to finish this Pandavas. That was his immediate thing. And Kritavarma, he was actually from Bhoja dynasty and he was a commander, like I told you. Now, he had a desire for power. Kritavarma always wanted power. Why, how, that we will understand a little later. And he kind of does not oppose. He did not oppose Ashwatthama. He said, okay, this is a good idea. Kritavarma and Satyaki. Satyaki was on the Pandava side. I had given explained about Satyaki when we had discussed about Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter. Satyaki fought. He was a disciple of Krishna as well as Arjuna. Satyaki. Okay. Both were there. Now both were these two people actually survived. Satyaki, Kripacharya, and Kritavarma. They survived this Mahabharata. Rest everybody was dead. And Satyaki, unfortunately, he did a grave mistake. A sin basically, of killing Bhurishrava, who was actually fighting on the Kaurava side. Satyaki is on the Pandava side, Bhurishrava is on the Kaurava side. Bhurishrava was a good person, but he was fighting on the Kaurava side. Krishna and Arjuna convinced him, enough, why are you fighting simply now? You give up your weapons and meditate and just give up. That's it. Don't fight. And he agreed. He started, meditating, giving up all his weapons. But Satyaki and Bhurishrava, they were kind of enemies. So when Bhurishrava was meditating, this Satyaki goes and chops off the head of Bhurishrava. That is a mistake that he did. It was a sin. So Kali Purusha, please understand, Kali Purusha had entered Satyaki and Kritavarma because now they were looking for power. Because it was all happening at the end of Dwapara Yuga. I mean, Kali Purusha, the transition was happening now. Kali was about to take full-fledged position. So he was identifying some people and he identified this Satyaki and Kritavarma, Kali Purusha, and he got into them. Now, what happened was, there is a little background to this Kritavarma. Kritavarma had a son, And that son of Kritavarma was in love with Charumati. Charumati is a daughter of Krishna and Rukmini. Yeah. So Kritavarma's son in Dwarka, he was in love with Charumati, who is the daughter of Krishna and Rukmini. And the marriage was finalized, everything was going on well. Simultaneously, Rukmi is the brother of Rukmini. He also had arranged a marriage for his own grandson, Rukmi's grandson. Uh, and also there was simultaneously a lot of marriages were happening. Aniruddha, who was the grandson of Krishna, his marriage was also he was also getting married. So a lot of marriages were happening during this time. This is all after this Mahabharata. Now, Balaram, once he went there to attend this marriage of Rukmi's grandson. And, in marriages, they generally have a lot of things, sporting things and other things. They played a dice game. And while they were playing the dice game, now it so happened that Balarama won. But Rukmi did not agree to this. He said, no, 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 you didn't, it's a cheating. Or he said, no, no, you have not won. And there are some other so-called supporters of Rukmi, kings, they also supported and they said, no, no, it is Rukmi who won and it's not Balrama. Balrama was getting angry. Excuse me. So what happened was, there was Akashvani that happened stating that Balrama actually won the dice game. Still they were not. They were mocking at Balarama. Balarama became very angry. Balarama became angry and one punch, that's it. Rukmi fell unconscious and he died. The brother of Rukmi, was killed by Balarama there. And Kalinga, the king of Kalinga, Balram punched him and all the teeth were out. That's it. So, a lot of these things were happening. Now, all when the Mahabharata was over and these marriages were happening, it so happened that one day, Kritavarma, who survived, and Satyaki, who also survived the Mahabharata, they saw a dream of a horse walking in front of their palace and it had no head. It was a headless horse which was walking. He woke up with fear. What is this? Kritavarma was thinking, what is happening? And Satyaki also got the same thing. He thought that, okay, it is because of Kritavarma. And Kritavarma thought it is because of Satyaki. They were both blaming each other, maybe because of them. The other person is why there's some negative things are happening like this. But actually, in Dwarka, they saw a lot of bad omens and a lot of negative things were happening now in Dwarka. What are the negative things? People in Dwarka and across this Bharata, people were glorifying Duryodhana, Shakuni, Shishupala, Jarasandha. Actually, they were all demons, right? And such people were now glorified by the people, by the public. This is, imagine now there was no social media then. Still, people were glorifying. This is the power of Kali. Now you can imagine Kali is like on a nice sleeping couch because he has the mobile phone, he has the internet, and he can uh, create narratives, false narratives, like so many narratives. We can confuse people. And that time, without any social media, still now people were glorifying people like Duryodhana, Jarasandha, and Shishupala. All such negative things were going on. Can you imagine? Krishna was still there. And that is when Krishna talks to Rukmini. And he says that Rukmini, now the time is not good. The constellation, the planetary constellation, which was there during the Mahabharata war, the same planetary constellation has again come now after 36 years. Mahabharata is over, and after 36 years, again the same exact astrological positions have come. And what is that? Trayodashi, Chaturdashi, and Amavasya, followed by Rahu. When all these things come together in one single day, that is when there will be solar eclipse, and that will cause a lot of problem. All the negative things will happen. So Krishna is telling Rukmini that now only you and I, only we both will survive. Rest, everybody will be dead and gone. Rukmini is shocked and confused. She said, what do you mean? Krishna says, yes, the whole Yadava family will be destroyed. In our family, nobody else will remain now, Rukmini, because the time has come. And also, you should know, I'm sure you remember the curse of Gandhari. Gandhari had cursed that the Yadavas will be destroyed. Right? So, this is all happening now. Okay, this is a conversation between Krishna and Rukmini. And meanwhile, what has happened? There are some great sages who have come from different places to Dwarka, like Durvasa Muni, Bhrugu Muni, Kanva Muni. All these great rishis have come to Dwarka. And Durvasa, you can know, imagine, Durvasa is no ordinary person. Huh? And when Durvasa Muni is there, actually Durvasa Muni, he came to Dwarka because he was insulted, humiliated by Jarasandha and his friends, some of his friends. Jarasandha went and asked Durvasa, "Hey, Durvasa Muni, why don't you marry? Come on, you please marry." And then they removed his loin cloth also. The cloth that he wears around his waist, they pulled out his loin cloth. Jarasandha did all these kind of things. And Durvasa Muni was really humiliated. He said, "What are you doing? This is not right." But he did not curse him. He just left this place. And then he came to Dwarka. And when he came to Dwarka, Krishna treated him very nicely. Very nice. Because after all this embarrassment, when he came, Krishna took care of Durvasa Muni very nicely and gave him a very good meal also. And Durvasa Muni, when he had this meal, the remnants which were left from Durvasa's plate, Durvasa Muni told Krishna, "Take these remnants of my plate and smear them all around your body." Just imagine, he's telling Krishna, the Supreme Lord, take all these remnants of foodstuff and apply. And Krishna said, "All right, now you see, Go Brahmana Hitayacha, Krishna is Go Brahmana Hitayacha." He took all the remnants from the plate of Durvasa and he applied all across his body, all around his body, except for his feet, just to, as a mark of respect that, this is something that I have got from a great Brahmana and that should not touch my feet. But Durvasa got actually offended, seeing that, see, I told him to apply all his body, but he left his feet. Durvasa got angry here. But then Krishna explains that I did not, because, my ankle and other things should not touch something so auspicious which has come from you. And then when he heard this from Krishna, Durvasa felt very bad. Oh, what did I do? I was actually was so judgmental about Krishna. I shouldn't have done this. All these things were happening. So these young people, Yadavas, now, they were very playful and, they were just taking different roles and enacting, and all these great people have come. And one of them, the young Yadava called Samba, he was acting like a pregnant woman with something in his belly he kept, and he was acting like a pregnant woman. And all these Yadavas, young Yadavas, they go to Durvasa Muni and other rishis who were there, who had come to Dwarka, and they will go and ask Durvasa Muni, he's a boy, Samba, he's not a pregnant, but he's dressed like a woman now, pregnant lady. So, oh, great sages, please tell, whom will he deliver, a boy or a girl? Will he deliver a son or a daughter? And they started laughing and mocking and all those things. Now, Durvasa became very angry and he cursed them, stating that you will become pregnant and there will be a lump of iron that will be born out of this. They got so bewildered listening to this curse. They immediately run to the palace and they meet Ugrasena, the grandfather, Ugrasena, who is the father of Kamsa. And they say that this is what we have been cursed. And Ugrasena says, see, now immediately the first thing is we have to take control, because he has heard that you'll all, drink alcohol and you'll do all these kind of nonsensical things. So Ugrasena banned liquor in whole of Dwarka. And maybe that's why I think Gujarat is still a dry state, at least not unofficially many things happen, but officially at least I think it is a dry state. So liquor was banned then in Dwarka. So all these children were acting very wrongly in a inappropriate way. Why? After all, they are all Krishna's children, Yadavas. Why were they behaving like this? So this Kritavarma, who survived the Mahabharata, right? He had come and he was staying in Dwarka. He was in the Dwarka very much, and he was influencing all these people. Actually, see how this association is so powerful. Hmm? Very subtly, all this influence was coming from Kritavarma. Krishna, on another occasion, is also talking to Satyabhama. And what is he talking to Satyabhama? He is telling, see, Satyabhama. Satyabhama is an incarnation of Bhumi. Hmm? So, when Varahadev protected Bhumi Devi from Hiranyaksha, Bhumi Devi's was picked up in the tusk of Varahadev. The portion where the tusk touched the Bhumi, the earth, planet, from that position Narakasura was born. The son of Krishna and Bhumi Devi, Prithvi, was Narakasura. And just imagine now, the son of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, turned to be an Asura under the influence of Jarasandha. Can you imagine? Because of the influence of Jarasandha and Kamsa, the son of Krishna and Prithvi, Narakasura, became an Asura. Just see, these kind of things are there. So similarly, Krishna is telling Satyabhama, just like what had happened in the past, the same thing is happening now also. Oh Satyabhama. The incidents that you see right now, all our children and everybody, they're influenced by negativity. So how important it is to actually have the right association is mentioned here right away. So that's why we should be very careful with whom we are associating. Our association matters. And now this is Krishna's example. Can you imagine? In his own family, all these things were happening. Okay. So he's reminding Satyabhama about this. And then he's telling, okay, Satyabhama, look at this very clear. We will just follow dharma. We will not be attached to our sons. What is more important is dharma, not our sons, not lineage. This is Krishna's very clear statement. Krishna is always on the side of dharma. He is not partial. Oh, they are my sons, my children. I'll take care of them. No, it's not like that. So then what happened once the queens of the Dwarka, they were all there, discussing about all these negative things that were happening in Dwarka and across Bharatavarsha. When all this was happening, and Yadavas were the most powerful because all the other powerful kings were gone. The most powerful people on planet now were the Yadavas. Very, very powerful. Children of Krishna, by the way. Extremely powerful. But now they are acting notorious. So some of the spies in Dwarka, they were actually giving updates to all the queens of what is exactly happening in Dwarka. Now, listening to all this, the queens were also very shocked. All the negative things that are spoken about Krishna and Balram. False things were told about Krishna and Balram. Oh, what is this? He's an ordinary guy. Nothing so great about him. People in Dwarka have started talking negative things. Just like in Ramayana, you remember when Ramayana comes back and okay, he became the king of Ayodhya and everything was going well. But later on, what happened? There were some negative people who started creating negative narratives, false narratives against Lord Rama and Sita. And then see how Sita had to leave Ayodhya and go. Right? How things happen. Even in the presence of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, false things happen. Similar thing was happening now in Dwarka. People started talking negative things about Krishna. So these are all Asuric forces who are disrespecting Krishna and glorifying Duryodhana and Shishupala. This is what Krishna says. This is an Asuric mindset. People are the same, whether Asura or Devata, the soul is soul. But what makes a person Asura or a Devata? That's a mindset. So there is an Asuric specific, it's not a specific lineage. Devata is not a specific lineage. It is a mindset that is going wrong. Many people are good. Our children are good. But what happens? They're all influenced by Kali in different ways, in the form of social media in many ways. Right? So it is a wrong thinking that was prevalent now. And when the wrong things are prevalent, a common man, will not be able to discriminate between what is right and wrong, because the majority of the people are talking about it. It's a narrative that is built, right? Oh, India is awake. It's a country of the snake charmers. That's the narrative that is being told in the West. That's the picture that is painted of the India in the West. Oh, India means snake charmers. That is the narrative, right? And people believe in the Western world. People believe that is how it was. Of course, now things have changed, but still, that was the narrative that was built. So when all these things were going on, Gargacharya, he was thinking, okay, I should find the root cause of all this. I should understand why this thing is happening, who is exactly doing this. And then with all the intelligence and his network, Gargacharya understood that this is actually emerging from Kritavarma. This Kritavarma is the one who is actually poisoning the minds of the people in Dwarka. Like I told you, Kritavarma was influenced by Kali Purusha and he was looking for power. And this Kritavarma was discontent. He was not happy with Krishna. Why he was not happy with Krishna? And this negativity, this jealousy against Krishna came because of the Shamantaka Mani now. We all know the Shamantaka Mani. It's a very powerful money, a diamond, a special jewel, which was given by the sun god to King Satrajit. Satrajit is the father of Satyabhama. Okay, a lot of connections are there today, okay? So Satrajit was given this very beautiful Shamantaka Mani by Suryadev, and this could produce many grams of gold every day. Yeah, some 70 tolas or something like that. I don't remember the exact, it's mentioned in the Krishna book in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes later, but I don't remember the exact, but it would produce gold every day. So anywhere, any king, but the thing is, this should be handled very carefully, and the person who handles this should be very pious. A person cannot be a negative person, he cannot be a adharmic person. Shamantika Mani will not have its power. It will create all this only if the person is very powerful and a very dharmic person. Okay? So now what happened was this King Satrajit, the whole story, we can read in Krishna book, how he got it and how later on, he got Satyabhama married to Krishna. All that story is there. Now, during this time, there are three people actually who wanted to marry Satyabhama. Satrajit actually had put a false allegation against Krishna, but that turned out to be false and he understood his mistake. So Satrajit, to compensate for the false allegation that which he had put on Krishna, he thought that I'll give my daughter Satyabhama to Krishna, and he got her married to Krishna. But now what happened was, there were three people at that time who wanted to marry Satyabhama because she was very qualified. Who were three people? Akrura, Shatadhanva, and Kritavarma. Now Kritavarma wanted to marry Satyabhama. And because Satyabhama is now married to Krishna, he was jealous of Krishna. Shatadhanva also was jealous of Krishna. Akrura, he understood, okay, it's fate now, it's the will of providence. I did not marry Satyabhama. He just left it. Akrura. But now what happened when all this was happening and they were very jealous about it? It so happened that Krishna got a news now at this point of when the Satyabhama marriage happened and everything. After marrying Satyabhama, there was a news that Krishna got that the Pandavas are in trouble, the Lakshagriha. So they are trapped, right? Lakshagriha situation, and Krishna had to leave Dwarka and go to meet the Pandavas. Of course, he meets them in Panchal Desh. So, meanwhile, when Krishna is away, this Kritavarma and Shatadhanva, both of them, they conspire to kill Shatrajit, the father-in-law of Krishna, mother of Satyabhama. They wanted to kill. Both of them made a plan. But what happened? Shatadhanva was impatient. He took the first step. He went forward and then he killed Satrajit, and he took away the Shamantakamani from him. So he took the Shamantakamani, ran away from there. Now, Kritavarma is an equal partner in the crime, but he was composed. But Shatadharma he killed and he ran away with the Shamantakamani. But what he did was he gave the Shamantakamani in the hands of Akrura. He told him, "You keep it safe. I'll come back sometime later and I'll take it from you." And Akrura kept it. And this fellow, this Shatadhanva, he goes and hides in Mithila. And Krishna comes back and understands, oh, this my father-in-law is killed. So Krishna and Balram, they start looking for Shatadhanva everywhere. Kritavarma is silent. He is like, diplomatic, and he doesn't, acting as if he doesn't know anything. Krishna and Balram, they both search and they find this Shatadhanva in Mithila and they go and kill him there. They finish off. But they did not find the diamond. They did not find this Shamantakamani. So now they were thinking many years were passed now and still they are not able to find the money. Now what is happening meanwhile? Shatadharma is killed, the diamond is missing, Krishna and Balram are back to Dwarka and they are continuing their daily duties, whatever, everything is going on as it is. Meanwhile, Akrura, because he has the diamond and every day the diamond is producing a lot of gold, Akrura is becoming more wealthy every day. So much of money is coming now. Oh, imagine, such a diamond if you get, how wonderful it will be. Every day it is producing gold. Our Prime Minister is telling not to buy gold. So you have a Shamantak money and gold is there all the time with you. You have a gold factory at home. Just imagine the situation. Amazing, no? So that kind of a thing. And Akrura is becoming rich at home. So much gold is there now. And what is he doing? He is performing big yagnas now. Lot of big yagnas. Everywhere opulence is being not ordinary to perform yagna, but big yagnas he is performing. Now Krishna could understand. Akrura, where is he getting? He cannot get on his own. He understood, he could correlate and understand that yes, the diamond is actually with Akrura. So he directly goes to Akrura and he tells that, okay, I think you have this Shamantakamani. I know that it is with you and that's why all this is happening. But you can keep that Shamantakamani with you, Akrura. But I just want to see it. I don't want to take it from you, but I just want to see it. Now, actually, Akrura felt ashamed, for hiding. It was already 3 years. He was hiding it. He could have actually given it back, but then he did not give. He was keeping it for himself. Akrura felt very ashamed. Oh yeah, my chori is caught now, right? And he said, Akrura said, okay, please take it. You can take it if you want. Krishna says, no, I don't want to take it. And Krishna puts himself in a very humble position. He says that actually I am not qualified to keep the Shamantakamani. See, Shamantakamani can be with only dharmic people, right? Krishna says that, oh, I am not qualified. He takes a humble position and says, Akrura, you keep it. Anyway, now because of this, our kingdom is flourishing, you keep it and ensure that the kingdom is flourishing. That's it. So like that, many things happen. He says that, we had actually, kind of taken some debt. I mean, I've taken a loan for Dwarka. Not a loan, but we borrowed land for Dwarka from ocean. Krishna says this to Akrura. Because Mathura, when Krishna was in Mathura, this Mathura was attacked by Jarasandha. And 18 times Krishna defeated Jarasandha. And now what happened was, Kalyavan also joined Jarasandha. From eastern side, Kalyavan was attacking, and from western side, Jarasandha wanted to attack. Krishna said, why to be this, 18 times again fight and continuous, why to do all these things? Instead, let us go to Dwarka. He created Dwarka, borrowed the land from ocean, and ocean god gave him. And that is how Dwarka was created. He didn't want the Yadavas and everybody to be in Mathura because Mathura was constantly attacked. And with all these wars and going, everything, there will be no economic development and nothing will happen here. So that's why he thought that it's better. The Yadavas will flourish in Dwarka than Mathura. So he went. So the point is, the Kritavarma was very, very angry. He was angry because Satyabhama was married to Krishna. So this is how the Yadavas later on they went to the Prabhasa Kshetra, and there, they drank in liquor, and in that intoxicated state, all the Yadavas, they fought and they killed each other and they finished themselves. This was all seen. This was already forecasted by Krishna. He knew this is happening. Now, there's only one Yadava who was not just like other Yadavas, and that was Uddhava. Now, Krishna wanted to specifically speak to Uddhava, who was an amazing personality, a very great devotee of Krishna. This Uddhava, he wanted to speak because one is to take away the pain of the sages in the future. Because when the sages in the future will get to know that Krishna has left the planet, they will all be in pain. So Uddhava should speak to the sages and nicely console them. Not just the pain of the sages, but also the pain of Uddhava. Because when Krishna will leave, even Uddhava will be very disheartened, right? His heart will be broken. So Krishna wanted to speak to Uddhava as well to console him. So that's why he decided now to speak to Uddhava. Now, this is the context. All the story that I told you was to bring you to this point where why Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, and this is the last conversation of Krishna on this planet. Okay, the last instruction of Krishna to Uddhava. It's very beautiful. So, Uddhava is a disciple of Brihaspati, and Uddhava looked very, very similar to Krishna. Exactly. They were very similar to each other in their appearance, their height, their color, the bodily features, the facial look, everything. Uddhava was like almost Krishna. It's very similar to each other. So, and Uddhava was a great devotee of Krishna. He's a cousin of Krishna, and he was unaffected by all the negativity which was going on in the Yadava dynasty. He was totally detached from all those things. Now, Uddhava also is very, disheartened to see what is happening. And then he's actually bringing out, or rather speaking about some very beautiful qualities of Krishna, the opposing qualities of Krishna. What are those 5 opposing qualities? Uddhava is telling Krishna, see, you engage in work, but you're free from fruitive desires. We all work, right? We all work in our companies, we do work in our offices and everything. But why do we work? Because we have a desire to earn more money. We have a desire to get a lot of material opulences. All these different desires are the motivation for us to work, right? But Uddhava is telling to Krishna, you work, but you are not motivated by fruitive desires. You don't want to get anything out of it. See? That is one thing. Second thing, he is telling you take birth. Krishna, you take birth, but still you are unborn. Right? Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita also. Janma karma same divyam. Not so easy to understand Krishna. Krishna takes birth, but he's actually unborn. He's Aja. And he's also telling, oh, Krishna, you run away from your enemies, but you control the time. Huh? Enemies, Kalyavan was following and Krishna ran away from Kalyavan. That's why it's called Ranachor. But then he controls the whole time. Time is Mrityu. Everything is under his control. He is not fearful, but still sometimes he appears as if he is fearful. Right? Then Uddhava is telling, you enjoy the household life, but then you are still Atmarama. You are detached. See, household life means we are all attached to our family members, and we seek some pleasure from happiness from our family. Right? All these things we seek from our family members. But Krishna is aloof. He's Atmarama. He is in family household life, but he doesn't depend on anybody else for his happiness. That is the beauty. That's why he's Atmarama. And then Uddhava is also saying that you have called me for consultation many times, but you are the most knowledgeable. You sometimes act as if you don't have knowledge and you consult or take advice from me. Uddhava was very much part of the Krishna's Dwarka court. Many times he used to ask consultation, you take consultation from Uddhava. And Uddhava is telling, okay, you are the most knowledgeable person. What is that something that you don't know? Everything you know. In fact, you give knowledge to everybody. But then still you, out of your kindness, you have taken consultation from me. See, this is how Uddhava is explaining all these things. Now, Krishna, of course, he is giving the last instructions to Uddhava here. And then he's telling that, oh, Uddhava, see, I'm talking to you because I know my great grandson. Anybody remembers who is the great grandson of Krishna?
Prabhuji, the one who made the Vrindavan,
Yes.
I forgot the name, but he was the one who came to Vrindavan and
Good
re-
memory you have. Fantastic. Yeah, he's the one actually who revamped the whole Vrindavan, and his name is Vajranabha. Right? So Vajranava is the great grandson of Krishna. So Krishna is telling to Uddhava, Vajranava, my great grandson, he will take care of all the political thought. The political thought process, he will continue. My political thought process will be continued. How to rule, how to establish dharma, all these things Vajranava will do. But I want you, Uddhava, to continue or take forward the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual essence to the world. This is why I have called you here today. So this is why Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. So Uddhava also asks, okay, see, I am also Yadava, I may also suffer because of the curse in the future. Krishna says, don't worry. Your purification will happen by tapas and not by punishment. We should understand this. Purification happens with two things. One is tapas. Tapas means voluntarily pain. If you don't do tapas, then you will be punished. Punished by the sages, punished by Mother Nature, punished by time. Somewhere from universe, you will be disciplined forcibly in the form of punishment. You will get purified. Purification. When we go through some pain, right, our purification happens. But Krishna is telling to Uddhava, your purification will not happen because of the punishment or any curse. Your purification will happen by your tapas. So we should take voluntarily pain. Tapas we should do. That is better than being inflicted by some pain from some unwanted things. Right? Nature's laws are very strict. Purification, to become purified, we have to pay a price. There is pain. Now, that pain you take voluntarily or you want it to be enforced upon you forcibly, that is your choice. Better to take pain voluntarily, that is much better. And that way you will grow as a matured person. All of us will grow through tapas. So Krishna asked Uddhava, you go to Badrikashrama and do tapas there. Continue your tapas and that will purify you. And then Krishna also says that, okay, you are very dear to me and that's why I'm sharing this with you. Just like Arjuna, he received Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava is now receiving knowledge. Krishna says many things. This is a section of the Uddhava Gita basically, which comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. So Krishna explains that how you should learn fortitude from earth, you should learn, detachment from wind. Wind is not attached to anything, and earth is like very strong, very firm. You should learn equanimity from moon. You should learn how to be tolerating the highs and lows in life from the ocean. Ocean has waves, high waves, low waves. So in life also, you should tolerate all these things. So like that, it goes on to explain many beautiful things. It's a vast knowledge. Then finally, Krishna gives him his studded footwear, with jewel, gems, studded footwear to Uddhava and says, you can worship this in the future. This is for you. Uh, so Uddhava has many questions. He asks, does wise men suffer? Wise men suffer in this worldly life? Krishna says that is how. It's a leela, it is a part of life. There's a purpose for everybody's life. Each one of us, we come into this world for a certain purpose. Just like in the body, there is the liver, there is a kidney, there is a stomach, hands, legs. Everything has a certain purpose. We also in this society, we have a certain purpose. Unfortunately, we don't know the purpose. Moment we know the purpose of our life, our life becomes very simple. We will stop searching for happiness anywhere else because that purpose itself will give us so much happiness. Right? But unfortunately, Kali Purusha, he makes people forget the real purpose. Huh? The ultimate purpose for each one of us is Krishna consciousness. But see how we forget many times. Although we want to be in Krishna consciousness all the time, but we have a lot of duality because that is created by Kali Purusha. The world is full of duality because some people follow Nivritti Marga, some people follow Pravrti Marga. This is duality. So Uddhava is also asking why Ishvara, he grants us freedom, and then people you misutilize that freedom and do adharmic things. Krishna says this is a Leela. This is a Leela of God. God actually wants everyone to end their life in a very auspicious way and come back to me. But then what happens, unfortunately? People don't follow. People just don't follow. And if there is no Leela also without freedom. Buddha was asking why freedom you are giving, but Krishna is saying if there is no freedom, there is no Leela. Leela will happen only when there is freedom. Right? Krishna wants to do Leela, but for that Leela, we all should have the freedom. If there is no freedom, then we are slaves. And when there are slaves, there is no Leela. So Krishna wants to perform Leelas, and for that freedom is required. So this is very important. Love cannot be established on the basis of force. Love is established when there is freedom. Right? So finally, Uddhava, he goes to Badrikashrama, and then Vidura, at this point of time, when he meets Uddhava, and Vidura is asking, please share me that knowledge that you received from Krishna. Please share everything that you learned from him. But here, Uddhava, he says, no, I cannot explain to you this. You go and meet Maitreya Rishi and he will explain to you. Now, why is Uddhava telling this? Uddhava could have directly shared the knowledge, right? But he's asking him to go, asking Vidura to go to Maitreya Rishi. Because Uddhava felt that, Vidura is very superior to me. He is very superior. I am inferior. I cannot be giving instruction to somebody who is so superior to me. In knowledge and also in age and every which way, experience-wise, Vidura is done so much, So Uddhava feels that, okay, I should not cross that Maryada, the line of Maryada. Many people do Maryada Vyatikrama. They they learn a little bit here and there in the social media, and they think that, okay, I can tell the Guru and teach Guru only. Okay, I have learned something like this. So this is Maryada Vyatikrama. So we should not cross the line of Maryada. And Uddhava was very sensitive enough. He said, okay, I'm not going to cross this line. Please, you are very qualified. Then me, you better go to Maitreya Rishi, who is very close. He lives very close by also. And he will exactly give you everything at the bank of Yamuna. Please go there. So, actually, when Vidura hears from Uddhava that Krishna remembered Vidura before actually he left this planet, Vidura starts howling. He starts crying loudly that Supreme Lord remembered me before he left this planet. He is like, beating his chest and he starts crying so loudly, remembering he was in ecstasy actually. Out of love for Krishna, he's just crying for Krishna. So this is what he hears from Vidura, from Uddhava. Vidura is very ecstatic now. So these are some deep conversations that is happening. And Krishna, of course, then he leaves this planet. He leaves this planet. Some people, Vaishnavas, understand the higher picture of how Krishna leaves the planet. He was shot by an arrow at the feet, and that is how he left this planet. But this was just a pastime that he wanted to enact to confuse the more karmi people who are non-devotees, who have that mundane vision. So Maya blindfolds these normal people. And Kunti Maharani says also in her prayers, Maya Javanika Channam, Maya covers our vision. And these foolish people, they say, see, Krishna, he was not powerful. He could not even protect his own feet. And, he was dead. Some people say, oh, because he died this way because he shot an arrow at Wali. And that as a karma, in the Rama Avtara, it came in the form of this way to Krishna, and Krishna died because of the shot of an arrow. All these are all mundane theories, and Krishna specifically wanted to keep it that way to keep the people confused and see that the most devoted people have a clear vision, and only they understand Krishna completely, right? So the pastimes of Rama and Krishna are misunderstood by mundane people. Oh, look at Rama crying for his wife. What kind of a god is he? People talk about Rama like that. So weak he was. Huh? He could not protect. His wife was kidnapped. He could not, he took the help of monkeys. Like that, many people talk so many things. Because mundane vision, they are envious of Krishna. So Krishna said, "Okay, you be that way." So this is a very beautiful conversation, and from now we will see Vidura and Maitreya Rishi conversation. Okay, now the philosophical things will start. This was just a background to why Vidura is now meeting Maitreya, and their conversations will lead to many more wonderful new pastimes and many other newer things, philosophical things that will come into picture. So this is the background so far. Any questions? Lakshmi ji says, yeah, no pain, no gain, of course. Without pain, will not get purified. No question. Tapasya is required. Without tapasya, there's no purification. So life is so uncertain. That's why we should all be prepared. We should all prepare ourselves for the final exam. Krishna himself left this planet, teaching all of us this is the greatest reality of life. The greatest reality of life is, yes, death will come to us. So we should be prepared. And how we have to be prepared? That is the study of the Bhagavatam. We'll explain. Right? Because Parishit Maharaj is there right now. He's about to die. And all these questions are coming because of him. So answers also will come. Okay? Good. Fantastic. Any questions? Any thoughts? I hope you got a little idea of the background of why this conversation is happening. Stay away from negative people like Kritavarma. We just don't know in what way they come, and they keep poisoning us in different ways. They put the seed of doubts in our minds. Oh, Krishna consciousness useless. Why are you following this? Why you have to read the Bhagavad Gita? Why are you chanting? People, negative people, they will come and seed such negativity in our mind. We should be careful. Okay, good. So this is just what I wanted to share today, and we will continue the discussion of Bhagavatam, especially now the conversation of Maitreya and Vidura in the next session. Thank you very much for joining, all of you. We will. I've been not posting some messages in the group of late, but I think I'll continue again from now onwards. There was a gap, I know, because of the travel and some new things that are happening here. But I'll keep connected, and if you have any time, anything to share, please share. I'll be really happy to get connected. Please take care. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Vinodji, Dev. Hare Krishna.